The $400 million crypto hack that will get people killed. The Coinbase breach explained. A TechCrunch founder just predicted that Coinbase's latest data breach will lead to people dying. Nearly 70,000 crypto investors just had their home addresses and account balances exposed to criminals. This isn't your typical data breach where someone steals credit card numbers. This is something far more dangerous. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly why this breach is being called a blueprint for targeted violence. I'll break down the specific security failures that made this possible and reveal how a 5-month gap in detection created the perfect storm for disaster. With Bitcoin trading above $100,000, crypto holders have never been bigger targets. The stakes couldn't be higher. Stay with me until the end, because I'll give you 5 concrete steps to protect yourself before it's too late. Shocking scale and timeline. Let's start with the numbers. 69,461 customers were affected. That might sound small compared to Coinbase's 100 million users, but here's what makes this terrifying. The breach started on December 26, 2024, Christmas week, but Coinbase didn't detect it until May 11, 2025. That's nearly 5 months of continuous access to customer data. 5 months where criminals could study their victims, plan their attacks, and build detailed profiles. When the attackers finally revealed themselves, they sent a $20 million ransom demand. Coinbase refused to pay. Instead, they set up a $20 million reward fund to catch the criminals. Bold move, but the damage was already done. The total cost? Coinbase estimates between $180 million and $400 million in remediation and customer compensation. Why this breach creates a targeting map. Here's what makes this different from every other data breach you've heard about. Most breaches steal credit card numbers or login credentials. This breach created what security experts are calling a targeting map. Think about a typical bank robbery. The criminal knows there's money inside, but they don't know who has the most cash or where they live. Now imagine if that same criminal had a detailed map showing exactly which houses contain the most valuable safes, complete with home addresses and security systems. That's what happened here. The criminals got home addresses, account balances showing crypto holdings, government ID images like passports and driver's licenses, and complete personal profiles. They can literally point to a location on a map and say, this person has $2 million in Bitcoin and lives at this exact address. This level of targeting precision has never existed before in financial crime. Michael Arrington's stark warning. The founder of TechCrunch and a longtime Coinbase investor posted something that shocked the crypto world. He said this hack will lead to people dying. It probably has already. At first, that might sound like hyperbole, but look at what happened in 2025. 6 violent robberies in May alone, where victims were kidnapped or tortured for their crypto assets. In January, the co-founder of Ledger, David Balland, was kidnapped from his home in France. The attackers cut off his finger to force him to transfer cryptocurrency. In May, criminals kidnapped a crypto millionaire's father in Paris, severed his finger, and sent video evidence while demanding 5 million euros. This isn't random crime. These are targeted attacks using stolen personal information to identify high-value victims. Arrington himself received personal threats after the breach, with attackers using the stolen data to make their threats more credible. The pattern is clear. When criminals have both your address and your account balance, you become a precision target. Security failures that enabled this disaster. So how did this happen? The answer reveals a cascade of security failures that should concern anyone who trusts companies with their personal data. This wasn't a sophisticated cyber attack. Criminals simply bribed overseas contractors working in Coinbase's customer support centers. These contractors had access to massive amounts of customer data with minimal oversight. Here's the first failure: geographic security disparities. Coinbase used different security standards for their overseas operations compared to their U.S. facilities. The contractors who were bribed worked in locations with weaker controls and less supervision. Second failure: inadequate access controls. These support staff could access comprehensive customer profiles, including addresses, balances, and government IDs. There was no need-to-know principle limiting their access. Third failure, the 5-month detection gap. Coinbase's monitoring systems failed to identify unusual patterns of data access over nearly half a year. This gave criminals months to extract and organize victim information. Fourth failure, insufficient contractor vetting. The company didn't have robust systems to detect when their overseas staff were being targeted for bribery or manipulation. These weren't technical failures. These were human system failures that created the perfect environment for an inside job. Multi-signature and time locks could have prevented this. The crypto world has already solved many of these problems for protecting digital assets. The same solutions could have protected customer data. Multi-signature technology requires multiple people to approve cryptocurrency transactions. Imagine if accessing customer data required the same approach. Instead of one contractor being able to pull comprehensive customer profiles, what if it required approval from 2 or 3 separate people in different departments? Time locks in crypto create waiting periods before transactions can be completed. Applied to data access, this could create a buffer where security teams can review unusual requests before sensitive information gets released. Coinbase had required multi-signature approval for accessing customer addresses and balances, plus implemented time delays for bulk data requests. This breach would have been much harder to execute and easier to detect. Real-time monitoring systems could flag when someone accesses unusually large amounts of customer data or when access patterns deviate from normal support activities. The technology exists. The question is whether companies will implement it before the next breach happens. Industry response and what comes next. The crypto industry is split on solutions. Balaji Srinivasan, former Coinbase CTO, argues that KYC requirements are the root problem. He says forcing companies to collect this much personal data creates attractive targets for criminals. Zero-knowledge proofs could verify user identity without storing personal information. Instead of keeping your address and ID photo in a database, the system would only confirm that you've been verified without retaining the actual data. Regulators are taking notice. The Department of Justice opened an investigation into the breach. We'll likely see new requirements for data protection in the crypto space, possibly including mandatory multi-signature controls for accessing customer information. Other major exchanges are already announcing security upgrades, but the question remains, will these changes happen fast enough to prevent the next targeting map from being created? Conclusion. This story isn't just about money, it's about lives. The combination of home addresses and account balances creates unprecedented danger for crypto holders. The 5-month detection gap shows systematic security failures that go beyond typical cybersecurity problems. The crypto industry must move beyond traditional approaches to customer data protection. The same technology that secures digital assets can and should protect personal information. But you don't have to wait for the industry to catch up. Enable multi-factor authentication on all your accounts. Use withdrawal whitelisting to restrict where your crypto can be sent. Never discuss your holdings on social media or public forums. Spread your assets across multiple wallets and exchanges. If you hold crypto, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm tracking every major security development in this space, and the next breach could affect millions more people. Comment below and let me know, have you changed your security practices after learning about this breach? What steps are you taking to protect yourself? And please share this video with anyone you know who owns cryptocurrency. They need to understand these risks. The information in this video could literally save someone from becoming a target. The crypto revolution promised financial freedom, but freedom means taking responsibility for your own security. Stay safe out there.